Hey guys, welcome back to my channel.
Guys.
You gonna do the update with me? Today I'm gonna do Crew's 1 week old baby update. And I've got my helper here. Careful. Let me find my notes. Are you okay? Oh, too much? Sorry, I'm trying to feed him at the same time. This is mom life now. You done? Okay, so first of all, good job. He's nursing really, really well now. Like you okay? I can pretty much just like walk around the house and nurse. Like it's gotten to the point where it's super easy. We were definitely off to a rough start though. So first I'm going to talk about the hospital situation because I haven't really told the full story of what happened while we were in there. It was so scary, and I know looking back on it, I'm just so happy and blessed that everything was okay, and just it was so hard going through it. And I know that so many people go through stuff like that on a regular basis with newborns, or they just have such worse things happen. So I'm just so thankful that nothing was seriously wrong. But basically he was born very, very, very quickly. If you watch my vlog or my labor and delivery story, he came out in 8 minutes. So he swallowed a lot of amniotic fluid. So the first night he was spitting that up a ton, and he was very sleepy, not wanting to nurse, just wanting to sleep. It was so hard for me to get him to even be interested in eating. I obviously didn't have my milk in yet, but it was just so hard to get him to eat at all. And basically he didn't eat much the first night in the hospital. The next day he spit up, and it was lime green. It was like a clear, but there was like lime green tinged. So there's a few different things it could have been. Could have just been an upset stomach, like an empty upset stomach. It could have been bile. It could have been meconium tinged amniotic fluid, which he did poop inside of me. I know it's gross, but I had the meconium in my water when my water was broken. Same thing happened with Cal too. So it could have been that. But there's also a lot of things that it could have been that would have been a lot worse. So it could have been an obstruction in his, I'm not really sure, like an obstruction in there in his chest or in his organs or something. Something could have been twisted. So that's kind of what they were looking for. And that was basically the main thing that the pediatrician said that it could likely be. So that's why I was so emotional that day, because I thought that something was wrong with his organs. They first just did a general x-ray to see if there was any sort of obstruction. That came back like clear. There was nothing wrong. Then they decided to do a blood test and see if he had any sort of infection, since I was group B strep positive or whatever that is. I was positive for that, so they wanted to make sure he didn't have an infection. That came back positive. Then they also did the final thing that they did. Well, actually they did something else after. They did an x-ray where they gave him this white sugary substance. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably know what it is, but I don't remember the exact name. But they gave him that to drink, and then every 20 minutes they did x-rays of his chest to watch it go down and make sure it went all the way through his body. And all of this was just really emotionally hard on me. It was really, really sad to see him go through all of this. A lot of the time he wasn't in the room with me during all this testing. And then the very last thing they did was they decided to suck out all of that white stuff that they made him drink. So they had to put a tube in his nose and then down his body and suck it all out. So he went through all of that in the hospital. So he went through a lot already. So that was just a rough start, but everything since then has been wonderful. And breastfeeding, like I said, it was off to a little bit of a rough start. I think he was so hungry trying to play catch up with all that missed time of nursing when he was away from me. Plus they gave him that drink that I think could have expanded his tummy a little bit prematurely. So he was getting frustrated latching on. I started to pump and bottle feed him just so that he could get the milk quicker than from my breast. But I didn't want to rely on that. I didn't want to rely on a nipple shield. I wanted to make sure that we were really just doing natural breastfeeding because long term, that's what I want to do. It's easiest for me. So it was a struggle, but we definitely made it work. You just have to work with them. You know, sometimes it takes him 20 minutes to latch on. Not now, but in the very beginning, sometimes it takes him 20 minutes to latch on, and then he finally gets it and gets that milk. So you just have to work with it, and now I can say that we are fully breastfeeding and just like it's going great right now. Like I said, I was walking around the house feeding him, and he's got like his latch is perfect now. I do have short feedings. I had them with Cal. So if you guys are wondering, my feedings are about 5 to 15 minutes per side. So a total of like usually 15 to 20 minutes total on my boobs, sometimes less, sometimes 10 minutes. And I'm not too worried about that because Cal was the same way. And I think I have a quick letdown and like a fast milk flow because also when I pump, I only pump for about 5 minutes at a time before my boobs are dried out. So in about 5 minutes I can get, right now with him being a newborn, I'm getting about 3 ounces or less per pumping session. So I think that's pretty good since he is only a week old. 3 ounces is probably all that he needs, and that's in addition to feeding him. So I feed him and then I pump. And I've been pumping about 2 to 4 times a day just in the mornings. With Cal I pumped all the time, but I don't have that kind of time now since I have a toddler. I can't just sit in my bed and pump all day. So I just try to pump like at 4 a.m., 7 a.m., and like maybe again at like 10 or 11 if Cal's napping. So I'm trying to get in those morning pumps because that's when I have the most milk supply. What else? Sleeping. His sleeping, I mean, he's a newborn, so he's waking up about 5 times a night right now. So he's going about every 1 to 3 hours, somewhere in there. Sometimes I can get a 4-hour stretch. He almost sleeps better during the daytime than at night, so I need to work on that. He's passed out right now. I need to work on that because I want to obviously have him sleep longer during the night. He's allowed to go 4 hours at night per my pediatrician because he is gaining weight right now. So 4-hour stretches would be amazing. But we'll see. As far as his weight and size, he weighed 7 pounds and 6 ounces at the hospital, left the hospital at 6 pounds, 10 ounces, and then came back when we went to the doctor. He was 6 pounds, 12 ounces. So he's definitely gaining weight. Sometimes I would weigh Cal, like I'd weigh myself and then I'd weigh myself holding him to get the difference, but I didn't do that this time. I'll try to do that more often though and kind of give better weight updates, but I would say he's anywhere from 6'12" to 7 pounds right now. He's definitely kind of filling out and getting chunkier. He is a newborn size. Most of his newborn stuff like this fits perfectly, but some of his stuff is just really baggy even though it's newborn. It's like most of the stuff that's hand-me-downs from Cal fits him well but because it's been washed and shrunk and stuff, but the brand new stuff is like he's kind of swimming in it, which is fine. It just means he can wear all of his stuff for longer. We do swaddle at night. We've been using the Swaddle Me swaddles. They're the kind that's like a little pouch and then it velcros over the top, and it's from Target usually, or probably anywhere, but we get ours at Target. And I've actually been double swaddling him because we keep our room a little bit chilly and I don't want him to get cold at all. So we put the hat on, his pajamas, socks, and then I do one swaddle and then I put another swaddle on top of that because you can't put any blankets or anything in the crib obviously. And that's been really, really good. He does sleep in the Halo bassinet, which is right next to my bed. Absolutely love that. It's such a lifesaver. And he sleeps a lot during the day. Like I said, he just sleeps a lot during the day. He's only had alert time for, I mean, maybe 30 minutes max is his alert time. So I want to work on keeping him more alert. If you guys have any ideas, tips and tricks on how to keep your baby more awake, things to do with them at such a small age that will keep them alert and awake for longer periods during the day, let me know. And then lastly, the leaky diapers, which we just experienced for the first time last night. Went through the same thing with Cal. I'm not sure if it's the actual diaper or the size of the diaper. We're using newborn right now. And I'm using Honest, which I hate, but only because I had them left over from Cal. So we're using Honest diapers and he is leaking up the back, up his back in them. And so he wets the swaddle in his pajamas in the middle of the night. So on top of feeding him 5 times throughout the night, we're also changing his outfit, his diaper, everything throughout the night too. And he is pooping a lot, so like usually when I'm sleeping I can hear him poop, and then I know like, okay, I have to get up and change his diaper. So running on little sleep these days, but I know it's just a phase. And I had Cal sleeping 12 hours a night by 8 weeks, and I have all the intentions to do that again with this little guy. And if I accomplish it, I'll do a video on it. I definitely have some tips and tricks on how I did that the first time, so hopefully I can be successful with that again, because I remember as soon as we got on that 12-hour night shift, it was like night and day with my body, my attitude, like everything just felt so much better. You have so much more energy when you're getting like a good uninterrupted sleep. So I think that that's everything. I'll show you guys what he looks like. He did have a little rash on his chin right here. They think he kind of like scraped it or something coming out of me, but it's finally going away. And then he also has like peely skin, and his hair is like a light brown, really similar to Cal's hair when Cal was a newborn, and then all of Cal's hair fell out and then it grew back in blonde. So here he is. Hi, baby. He's just a little love bug. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Bye.
You want to say bye?
Bye.
Here, let me show them you so they know who's saying bye.
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 There's a new part of me, a part I want you to see. You haven't seen the best of me, I know.